What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're focusing on the All Blacks rugby players not wanting the South Africans to leave to go to Pro 14 and for the Springboks to leave to go to the Six Nations. Now obviously new talk has been brought up this past week with the talk of the Springboks leaving the Rugby Championship this year and heading over to the Eight Nations after Japan pulling out of the tournament. Nothing's been confirmed from SA Rugby, but obviously Laporte, who's the Vice Chairman of World Rugby, has stated that they are in discussions with South Africa to try and lure them over. But obviously, when we talk about South Africa and New Zealand, whether you love or hate the rivalry or the game or the respective nations, you can't help but think what a match, what a special rivalry. Two great rugby nations giving it absolutely everything on the park, whether it's a close game, whether it's a draw, whether it's a drumming 57-0, no matter what, you're always left wondering what could be, why, how, what's next. And that's the beauty of the sport. We go from 57-0 a few years back to the 2 weeks later to a 1-point result. We go from South Africa winning a few games. We go from New Zealand winning a few games. There's always something special between these two great games. And a few All Black rugby players or New Zealand rugby players have made a few comments. I mean, we've gone for the likes of Aaron Smith, who's expressed his views, and many others. But recently, Blues duo James Parsons and Tony Lamborn have stated their disappointment that if South Africa lose. We also heard from Brian Hall from the Crusaders, who discussed their disappointment if South Africa leave and said that what a big loss it will be, not only for New Zealand rugby, but for the beautiful rivalry that we share. There's a lot of great respect between these two nations. I mean, on the field, they fight, they go for each other, they tackle the shit out of one another. It is aggressive, it is terrifying, but once the whistle blows, the respect is there. And whether it's South Africa winning, whether it's New Zealand winning, whether it's a draw, whether it's a domination, there's always respect for the other teams, from both teams. And even when it's a drumming, you can see the disappointment in some of the All Blacks' face, because they're like, yo, where's the Springboks of old? I mean, my YouTube video was flooded with comments on that recap when South Africa lost with, where the old Springboks? We want the rivalry back. We want to see the greatness of South Africa versus New Zealand. And I must say, I couldn't agree more. There are many mixed decisions on South Africa leaving the SANZAAR. There are many thoughts, many debates, many opinions, and everyone's pretty much right. South Africa going north, great money opportunities, time zones are better. A lot makes sense. Half of our players are over there already. But then you look at the Southern Hemisphere, competition with the All Blacks rugby teams, competitions with the Super Rugby Aotearoa teams. That is something you don't get to experience often. And when you do experience it, it's absolutely remarkable. I always have this saying, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best and play the best. And in order to do that, currently, who is the best in provincial rugby? It's New Zealand. I mean, the Crusaders, the most dominant team in history. I mean, they're remarkable. Yes, I know we haven't had that important match of the North versus South. But whether you like it or not, the Crusaders are remarkable. And then you got the other 4 teams within that league. It is just remarkable what they've achieved, how they've achieved it, and how they've progressed. Even when the Blues were at the bottom of their New Zealand log, they were still competitive. They still weren't bottom of the log. It was still a threat to any team, especially when playing at home. And for me to lose that history will be sad. I personally, and I know I've said it a few times and I've been mixed here and there of what I think. I personally feel if I had the authority right now from SA Rugby and I could get into agreement with SANZAAR and the North, I would literally have 3 teams in both respective leagues and provinces. So Pro 14, I'll take 3 teams there. And down here in the SANZAAR, I will have 3 teams in Super Rugby, or I'll have 2 and 2, but preferably 3 and 3, so we can include the cheaters as well, who deserve to still be in the Pro 14. And that's how I would play it. As far as it goes to the Rugby Championship, look, I've grown up. I'm 29 now. I've grown up with Tri-Nations and Rugby Championship. I know that history. I love that rivalry. I've woken up crack of dawn in the morning to watch the All Blacks play South Africa. Same when Australia play. I have experienced things on this channel because of the rivalry. My first video that passed 20k was the recap of South Africa versus New Zealand. So I've got a soft spot. My third highest audience and subscribers is from New Zealand, and then obviously Australia. So there's a lot of history between not only those legends, the players, the past players, the fans, but for me as a YouTuber. I mean, I look at the history of the greatness between me and SANZAAR Rugby, and how we've come along this journey doing what we love, and watching us grow, watching him succeed. It's just remarkable, and it just, for me, I want to see it continue. So I would stick with the Rugby Championship. I just don't see how another team can join the Six Nations. There's too much history. If there's going to be another team, it's got to be Georgia. If there's going to be or talk about Italy and complaints, remove them and take them back to the Five Nations. It will be great. It will be competitive. It will be exciting for South Africa to join the Six Nations. It will be on a whole another level. But playing against the All Blacks in Australia and Argentina is remarkable. We've got a great bond with these teams, and we've got an awesome relationship. And I love all 4 nations, and I love all those Six Nations teams too. But I want to see, from an international point of view, South Africa stick, but Pro 14 and Super Rugby, split it up, and let's get the best of both worlds. That's if I was in charge. Going back to the actual title of this video, Hall believes that the clash between the Springboks and the All Blacks is a pinnacle test match of the international calendar, and it will be a massive blow if this didn't happen. They're New Zealand's oldest foe, and yes, they got the Bledisloe Cup, and there's history with that, but nothing beats the All Black SA rivalry, and it's going to be a massive blow. I mean, there's other guys. As a kid growing up, waking up in the early hours to watch the All Blacks play South Africa, those were his memories with his father. It's just remarkable. And another guy saying, a couple of mates in South Africa, and obviously they say it's a lot easier for them to play in Europe, but they don't want to lose the rivalry. But James Parsons, the Blues teammate, he said that there's a demand for the Springboks following the World Cup victory, and Aiden leveraged the financial rewards obviously up north, and obviously COVID has opened this, but they don't want to lose it. And I fully agree. Time zones, yes, I'm in favour of all of this, because obviously those New Zealanders have to wake up very early to watch us. South Africa, if they play early, have to wake up early. Not as bad as what New Zealand has, but it is tough. We don't make the decisions. It's up to World Rugby, it's up to SANZAAR, it's up to the boards, it's up to the nations. But for me personally, I don't want to see this rivalry end. It's too damn good. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.